So today I'm going to cook one of my favorite dishes that I think is pretty simple. Country style pork rib cooked with hard boiled egg. It's going to be a slow cook. So I got some country style pork rib. I cut into pieces and I put in a pan and I cook for a few minutes until I get a little char, as you can see on the meat. Also, I boil some eggs and I peel it. And now I'm going to start cooking them. Once the meat got a good char, I'm going to do some seasoning. So here I'm going to do some little bit of garlic, salt. You know, the way I cook it, there's so many different methods of cooking these. Especially in the Asian community, this is probably one of the favorite dish and easy to cook. So now I'm going to use some buttery garlic herb. Just going to mix them together. Okay, so after mix them all together, now I'm going to add a little bit more seasoning. So I got some soup base. Basically, these are the seasoning that come with the instant noodles that we don't put it in the instant noodles, so we have extra, so I'm going to use that as seasoning. Okay, so I put a couple packet of seasoning. Now I'm just going to mix them together. Even just like this, they are looking great already. I can smell it. Okay, so after adding a couple packet of those soup-based seasoning, the meat is looking like this, looking delicious. I'm going to add some fish sauce. Okay. Okay, so after adding the seasoning and some fish sauce and stirring it to make sure the seasoning is evenly on the meat. Now I'm going to turn up the heat to high. And now I'm going to add a cup of water. And then I'm going to add a can of Coca-Cola. Okay, so once the meat come to a boil, I'm going to add a can of Coca-Cola. Before I just use water and seasoning, but my wife told me that adding a can of Coca-Cola would bring out the flavor even more. So that's what I'm going to do. It gives it that a little bit of sweetness to the meat. Otherwise, I'm going to have to use sugar. Okay. So you just let it come to a boil, and then I will put in the egg, and then re-taste to make sure that it fit what I'm looking for. So you can always add more seasoning, but don't make it too salty. You can always add more salt, but when you make it too salty, it's hard to fix the problem. So while the meat is cooking, I'm going to add a little bit of MSG, you know, just to bring out the flavor. I know there's a myth out there that MSG is bad for you, but Asian people have been eating it from generation, and it seemed to be okay. So just add a little bit, it won't hurt. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of cocoa caramel syrup. This just basically help enhance the color. Give it a couple of drizzle. You can do that before, in the beginning with the other seasoning, or afterward, but I'm going to do it afterward. I know cooking you need to taste good but also look good. Okay, once I add the cocoa syrup, caramel syrup, just let it come to a boil. Okay, so now my pot had come to a boil. I'm going to add the hard-boiled egg. You can add as many as you want, since you're cooking it for yourself. Just add the right amount you think it. So for me, I love these eggs cooking with the pork, so I usually add a lot. I got even more, so. And later when it cooked, we'll eat it with steamed rice, because that's how normally we eat it. So now I'm just gonna trying to get the egg to be sit in the juice, so it's soaked in the juice and bring it more flavor. I'm gonna add more eggs. Okay, so now my daughter Ava, you say hi?
Hi.
Helping me cooking these, so she gonna help me. Okay, can you put it in? All right. Okay, so Ava just help me put the lot egg in, and now we're gonna turn down the heat a bit and just gonna let it cook until it's done. Simple like that. Okay, so after my daughter Ava helped me put in the lot egg that we think it will fit, we just basically turn down the heat a little bit and let it just simmer like that until the meat is very tender and the egg, all the broth or the juice will soak in and you know, change its color. It already changed a little bit, as you can see, but that's pretty much it. And then toward the end you can retaste it until you think it's the right taste for you. So I'm gonna do that at the end, but it's looking good already. So normally me and my wife, we like a lot of eggs, so we put in a lot until, you know, we can't fit it anymore in the pot. So as you can see, we had a lot of eggs in there. So you can try to, you know, rotate the egg or get it so it cook in the broth evenly on both sides, but try not to break it, because it can be break easily. As you can see, when I pelted one, I already broke it. So now I'm gonna try to avoid breaking it even further. So kind of trying to maneuver it in a way where it will cook evenly, but try not to break it apart. So sometimes you have too much eggs and too much meat and not enough water. You can always add a little bit more of hot water to bring it up. You just have to re-seasoning it for your taste. So I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I want it to still covering the eggs and the meat. I just add a little bit of black peppers. So normally I add a little bit of black peppers and even some hot sauce, but I'm cooking so my daughters can eat it too, and I don't want to cook it spicy but they can't enjoy it, so I just add a little bit of black peppers only. So as you can see, it is simmering and looking good. It is pretty much almost done. So all depends how long you want to, you know, cook it to make the meat tender and the egg soak up all the juice. Otherwise, it's pretty much done. You can eat it anytime now. So okay, now I'm gonna take a piece of meat and I'm gonna taste it to see how tender it is. So our pork rib and our eggs pretty much almost done. I'm gonna take a piece of meat to taste it to see how tender it is and see if I need to add any more seasoning to enhance the flavor I want. So okay, so I just take the meat and it seemed like it tender to the degree that I like it, so it's pretty much done. And the eggs seem like it soaked the juice pretty good. So now I'm just gonna shut it off and just gonna let it cool down a bit and gonna get some steamed right to eat with it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please ask. I will try to reply and give you the answer the best I could. If you like my video, give me a thumb up. And if you can, subscribe to my channel and support. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And now I'm going to enjoy it with some steamed rice with some Vietnamese kimchi dipping in some hot pepper and fish sauce. Now I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Bye-bye.